Hello, sir. What is your name, please? They're at the jail.
Wayne Everly.
Wayne Everly. All right, Mr. Everly will be on the record in your case, number 2023 CR 156, State of Kansas versus Wayne E. Everly. County Attorney Jill Gillett for the state. Mr. Everly in person, in custody, and pro se. Sir, you are here for first appearance on a number of charges, and I'll go over those with you, as well as the possible penalties and rights relating thereto. In count one, sir, you are charged with aggravated battery. It is alleged in this count on or about July 9th, 2023 in Greenwood County, Kansas. You did then and there, contrary to the statutes of the state of Kansas, recklessly cause bodily harm to another person, to wit, a Corey Harris, with a deadly weapon, to wit, a lawnmower, in a manner whereby great bodily harm, disfigurement, or death could be inflicted. As charged, sir, this is a level 8 person felony, which means depending on your criminal history, if any, you were to be convicted with this charge. Your penalties could be anywhere from 7 months to 23 months in the Kansas Department of Corrections, commonly called prison, and you could be ordered to pay a fine up to $100,000. In count two, you are charged with another count of aggravated battery that on or about July 9th, 2023 in Greenwood County, Kansas. You did then and there, contrary to the statutes of the state of Kansas, recklessly cause bodily harm to another person, to wit, Joni Harris, with a deadly weapon, to wit, a lawnmower, in a manner whereby great bodily harm, disfigurement, or death could be inflicted. This charge means that if convicted, you could serve another 7 months to 23 months in prison and pay another fine up to $100,000. In count three, you are accused of that on that same day of July 9th, unlawfully and knowingly place another person, to wit, Caton Harris, in reasonable apprehension of immediate bodily harm with a deadly weapon, to wit, a lawnmower. This is charged as a level 7 person felony, which means in addition to the first 2 counts, if convicted, you could serve another 11 months to 34 months, and you could pay a fine up to $100,000. In count 4, you're accused of another count of aggravated assault, placing Abigail Recker in reasonable apprehension or reasonable apprehension of immediate bodily harm with a deadly weapon, to wit, a lawnmower. This is also a level 7 person felony with 11 to 34 months possible sentence and another fine of up to $100,000. In count 5, you're accused of criminal damage to property on that same date by means other than fire explosion. It is alleged that you damaged, destroyed, defaced, or substantially impaired the use of property, to wit, a mailbox and mount in which another has an interest, to wit, Corey and or Joni Harris, without the consent of such person, and the damage done was less than $100,000, making this a Class B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, you wouldn't go to prison on this one. You would remain in the county jail there where you are now for up to 6 months and pay a fine up to $1,000. Sir, do you have any questions of me as far as what you're accused and the possible penalties I've gone over?
No.
All right. Do you intend to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
I don't know. Haven't talked to anybody yet.
All right. Well, are you able to afford to hire an attorney?
Not. I've got one coming.
Well, do you want me to ask you questions to see if you qualify for court-appointed attorney?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Are you employed at this time, Mr. Everly?
Self-employed.
Self-employed? What kind of work do you do?
HVAC install.
All right. And do you have a company, or is this just something you do as
Everly Appliance Service.
Everly Appliance Services? And where's that located?
Fall River.
Okay. And is that where you live as well as Fall River?
Yes.
Okay. And how much do you make on average per month?
Anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000.
3,000 to 10,000 per month?
No, I don't make it a month.
Oh, okay. So on average,
probably average about $1,000 to $2,000 a month.
Okay.
Right now.
And do you pay rent or a mortgage?
Yep.
What do you pay for that?
$750 a month on the house payment.
Okay. And do you have any other income besides what you've told me about?
No.
Are you married or single?
Married.
Does the wife work?
Yes.
And where does she work? What does she make per month?
I don't know for sure.
Your best estimate per month?
$1,000.
And do you have children?
Yeah, I got 5.
Okay. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, Mr. Everly. Now, if you want to go out and hire an attorney, if you find a way to do that, you can. But we're going to appoint an attorney, and I don't know who that'll be yet, but my assistant, Missy, will let you know by the end of the week. Please contact that attorney if you do not hire an attorney, and be ready to go for your next hearing. And that's going to be called a preliminary hearing control. And Missy, when will that be?
August 4th at 1:30.
August 4th at 1:30. You'll need to be back here. Now, you can appear by Zoom, but sometimes those Fall River connections are not that good. So you're always welcome to come downstairs in the courthouse and use the computer down there if you like, because it's real important that at these hearings, we be able to see and hear each other. I don't know what it is about Fall River, but sometimes they're just not the best. But you're welcome to appear by Zoom or come to the courthouse August 4th at 1:30. Your attorney will be here by Zoom. Make sure, again, that you contact that attorney before that date and talk about your case. And then we need to talk about bond. How long have you been in the Fall River area?
40-some years.
And how long have you had the Everly Appliance?
Same amount of time.
Okay. Now, do I recall that one of your neighbors at least is one of the alleged victims?
He's the one that you got off, sentenced to for stealing the $3,000 out of my house that he's never paid back.
All right. So one of the alleged victims broke into your house and was convicted for that?
Yes. Your prosecuting attorney is the one that got him off. Or took him, got his sentence reduced.
Got his sentence reduced. Okay.
Whatever it was.
So
he hasn't never paid anything anyway.
All right.
That's 3 years ago.
Okay.
No restitution. Whatever you said he was supposed to do on that date that he was sentenced, nothing was ever done of what you said he was supposed to do.
Was he let off probation already?
He never had probation because of the COVID.
All right. Well, that's something that a person can look into and you can talk to your attorney about, because that's not the way normally things are done. But I don't know the unique situation after it left here. I don't know. So that's a different issue, though. Whatever happened in that, there are ways to follow up on that and not what's alleged here. Well, how far away does he live from you?
He lives across the street from my property now.
So if I bond you out, are you guys going to have more trouble?
No, I've got other things I've got to do.
Is he going to be taunting you or bothering you?
Your Honor, I happen to know
not.
Everly has chased this child down in a vehicle, ran him off the road, made him and his friends pull over to cuss them out, chased them from Fall River to Fredonia, Kansas. He's taken into his own hands multiple times to the point the parents considered filing for a PFA against Mr. Everly. He's trying to do back road justice against a child. And the kid is now turned 18 and he has bought his own house.
He's 21.
Because Mr. Everly is his great uncle. And they end up running into each other at family gatherings until Mr. Everly throws such a tantrum that he is asked to leave family gatherings because they can't be in the same place at the same time without him screaming and yelling. Mr. Everly needs to not be seeking backyard justice, and he needs to have no contact with this victim nor his family members.
Okay, you keep talking about this child, but you told me he's 18?
He was a juvenile at the time of the crime, and now he's an adult. And so, but he's 21 years old, 20 or 21 years old, and Mr. Everly is an gentleman of more experienced age and should know better than to try to ram into people trying to put up a mailbox with a lawnmower. He's taking into his own hands justice, and he needs to stop.
Okay, so somebody under 18, broke into his house and stole, what did he say, $3,000 that they never had to pay back? And
he
now
claims $3,000. There was restitution ordered. There was probation ordered. He ran the kid down with his friends and told him he couldn't have
not.
Hang on.
Kinds of problems with Mr. Everly ever since that case occurred. And Mr. Everly tries to take things into his own hands. Every time he sees me on the street, he comes up and starts questioning me. Okay. He's been a pain ever since that case happened. The child has been released because he was a juvenile at the time.
But you said he's 20 or 21 now?
Uh-huh.
So that's an old case that never did get resolution?
Old case. The kid completed probation, but you can't hold someone on probation for restitution. We all know what the case law says on that.
So the kid who's now 21 never paid any restitution for the items he stole?
I'm not going to say pay any restitution. I haven't looked it up in a long time, Judge, but the restitution ordered and there were costs ordered and he had probation and he had fees he had to pay on probation.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Everly, you're saying that you think that's at the root of what these charges are. It has something to do with that young man never paying you back? What I want to know, and I don't need you to answer anything incriminating, but what I need to know is if you guys live across the street, does he live with his parents or does he own his own property? Do you know, Miss Gillett? Because I thought I heard it both ways.
His parents, I thought, lived on the other side of a block, and I think he's moving into his own house or something near them. They all live in Fall River in the same area. And have for years upon years upon years.
All right. So, Mr. Everly, do you want to bond out?
Yeah. I've got things I need to do.
Okay. Well, do you understand that if I give you a bond, I can't have you around those folks? The young man, his parents. You understand? I can't have you around them.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned because if what you're saying is true, you got every right to be mad if he went into your house and stole stuff and didn't pay you back. But on the other hand, you can't. It's only
He's
going
going
to
to
make
try
it
to
worse.
put his mailbox where my driveway is supposed to be on this piece of property. That's the other problem, and nobody ever confronted me about the situation.
Well, you probably ought to be talking to a lawyer about those kind of things. You just can't take them into your own hands. As frustrated as you may be, you're only going to make it worse if you keep trying to take it into your own hands.
All right.
I mean, you've seen that. You've been sitting in the county jail. You know what I mean, right?
Yep. I know what you mean.
Did you recommend an amount, Miss Gillette?
I have not, Judge. I would recommend 5,000 cash surety, no contact with any of these victims.
Can you do that, Mr. Everly? Can you have no contact? If they show up at the mailbox, you don't even look, you walk away. If you see them driving down the road, you look away.
Yeah.
You sure you can control
As
yourself?
long as they can stay away from me.
Well, what if they can't? You're the one on bond, not them. What if they don't?
Well, I guess I'll have to go the other direction.
Okay. They don't taunt or torment you or anything, do they?
Oh, yes, he does.
Well,
He drives around my house quite often when he does need to go by my house. All he has to do is go north right out of town, but he has the gall to go drive around me, but that's fine.
You can ignore him?
I have ignored him up until that point of the mailbox issue. I haven't talked to the kid or been around him for over a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm uneasy about this because I'm not sure you've calmed down yet. And I don't know if he has anything to do with it. I don't know if he totally ignores you or if he does taunt you. I don't know. But I think that there's a potential for more trouble. And if I get you out on bond, I need to know that you're not going to be a continued threat to anybody in the community and that you'll reappear for court. And I have confidence that as long as you've been in the community and run your own business, that you'll be back to court when you're supposed to.
Yeah, I'll be back.
I just don't want any more trouble with you. So I'm going to allow you to make bond in the amount of $5,000 cash or professional surety, but so only on the condition that you have no contact with this young man or are you on good terms with his parents or not?
No, his mother's one of the victims in this matter.
All right, you're to have no contact with Corey Harris. Is he the young man, Corey?
Yes.
No contact with Corey Harris. No contact with Joni Harris. Is that his mother?
Yes.
No contact with Keaton Harris.
Younger
brother. No contact with Abigail Recker. Who is she?
Friend.
Okay.
That's his shack job.
Okay. So stay away from all of those people. If you see him going down the street, if you see him at the gas station, you're the one on bond. They're not. You understand that?
Yeah.
So if they get in your face, if they give you gestures, call you names, report that to the police as disorderly conduct. But don't confront them. Don't react. Just get away because you're the one that will have your bond revoked.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't know if they do any of that, but I'm just telling you, if in the worst possible scenario it happens, that's how you need to react or you're going to be right back where you are.
Okay.
Anything else that we need to put in that bond, Miss Gillette?
No, that's it.
And Miss Gillette suggested that you've given her some grief out on the streets. Don't be doing that either. That is totally unacceptable. And in order that you have no contact with her outside the courtroom. All right. Anything further from you, sir, Mr. Mr. Everly? Yes, Mr. Everly? Anything further? All right. So make sure you get with Missy later this week to find out who your attorney is and be back here August 4th at 1:30. All right. Thank you all. We'll be excusing Mr. Everly at this time and in recess on his case. You may go, sir.
And he's gonna take you back.